You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly show for video games, movies, TV shows, comics, tech news, and more. Now your hosts, Cody Pennick, Samantha Cross, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show that has a better track record than Bethesda at this point. I'm Cody.
I'm Sam.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Samantha.
Hey, we have a great show for you this week. Thank y'all for tuning in. We have a bunch of news to go over. But first, let's talk about some things we have been checking out.
Cody, how about you go, since we did?
Oh yeah, I didn't even go last time.
Yeah, you go first.
We watched that documentary
We-
you were talking about.
We did watch a documentary about The Price is Right, of all things.
Oh, nice.
It's on Amazon Prime. It's about this guy who just memorized all the items, and he realized that they would reuse prizes a lot, and the prices wouldn't change. So he made a big Excel spreadsheet. Well, it wasn't even Excel. He said it was Word, and I'm like, why didn't you use Excel? It's right there.
Because he's the type of guy that watches an obsessive amount of Price is Right.
And he memorized all the items and the prices, and then just continuously tried to get on the show.
Well, also he made like little programs, little Price is Right games on his computer.
Yeah, he did. He programmed his own Price is Right
It's
games
pretty cute.
on his computer, just to help study. He didn't release them publicly or anything, just to help him memorize the prizes.
Oh, wow.
And he did eventually end up on the show himself, but he only did like kind of okay because of the game he got.
Yeah.
But later there was not a recent news story. It was back when Drew Carey had first started on the show, of a guy who got a perfect guess on the showcase, which had never happened before. And when you do that, you get both showcases.
Right, yeah.
But-
It's like within a couple grand, I think, is what, like, you can be you can be within like $2,000 or $3,000 and you get both.
Oh, well, he got the exact number.
Wow.
And it turns out this guy was taking hints from the guy that the documentary was about. Because he'd be in the audience all the time just helping people out.
Oh, really?
Because that's not against the rules, apparently.
Huh.
But
I mean, if you look in the crowd, there's always people like,
yeah. The only difference is this guy knew. He knew the exact prices of the items.
Hey, you know what? He did his homework.
Yeah.
Like, he's not cheating anyone. It's not like that guy with the press your luck. Like, that guy just flat out cheated.
Well, he memorized the
Well, I guess he
pattern.
knows. I guess that is kind of the same
that's
thing.
basically the same
It's
thing.
basically
yeah.
the same thing. Yeah, I guess you're right. But
or that
yeah.
guy that played Jeopardy and like used game theory to pick the right spaces instead of going straight down like they normally do.
Because it's like the Double Jeopardy never shows up in the top or bottom of the thing. It's usually centralized, and you just kind of go in random.
Yeah, he would hunt the... Yeah,
I remember when that guy was on the show, and man, it never bothered me, but my folks got so furious about it. I think it was like scratching that OCD itch a little bit or something. Like, why does he just go down the line? Why does he just play it like normal?
I don't like this change. It angers me.
I don't like this. He's jumping around all over the place.
It's not how you do a Jeopardy.
Funny.
But the guy who was helping in The Price is Right get the showdown, he claims that he did it himself.
Oh.
And he didn't. You can see him looking in the audience and taking the hints from the guy that memorized the prices. His name was Ted something. So it was the Ted guy that actually got the perfect guess. But this guy claims that it was all him, even though it wasn't.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, which seems like it would be a better focal point of the documentary.
Yeah.
Is the drama between these two guys. But it's mainly just about the Ted guy and his experience with Price is Right and him memorizing all the prizes and stuff. It was an alright doc.
That's cool.
You get some behind-the-scenes look at The Price is Right, which I think is a game show that nobody doesn't like to watch.
Oh, yeah, everybody loves that show.
when I'm at the doctor's office.
Yeah, well, when you stay home from school sick,
When you're
you always
sick.
watch The Price is Right.
Watch The Price is Right. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, what kid wouldn't love it? It's a bunch of bright colors and
Flashing lights.
flashing lights.
And talk of spaying and neutering your pets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I'm hearing in my head, though, is the sound of the big wheel.
Oh, yeah. Now, did they prove that there is a guy standing behind the wheel that is stopping it for certain people?
No, because that's ridiculous.
As a kid, I mean, I know it's ridiculous now, but as a kid, I always thought like there was someone like
It was rigged.
it was rigged, and there was someone standing behind the wheel, like stopping it on certain numbers or something.
I did read a story that one time they used the Plinko board for some kind of promo, and they had wires up to guide the Plinko puck.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, it's a puck.
Chip.
Yeah.
I think they call it a chip to certain spots, and they forgot to take him down when they were actually playing the game. So the guy got like 3 in a row perfect Plinkos.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they retaped the segment without the wires, but they still gave the guy his money anyway. They just didn't mention it on the show.
Oh, that's cool.
Which was nice of them.
That was nice of them. Yeah, yeah. I guess that would make sense with the Plinko board if you put like fishing line or something like that. It'd
Like
be
guides.
Yeah.
Yeah, which that's what it was, and it took him a second to realize they never took him down.
Oh man, Ted was fired.
Yeah,
I haven't watched Price is Right in forever.
yeah, I haven't either. I want to be on it. I think that would be a
want
blast
to as well. They're coming to Columbus at some point here within the next 6 months or something like that. They're filming down here.
Really?
Yeah.
I would wear a dumb hat.
Or like a shirt that said something dumb on it.
Oh yeah, you got to.
Or we could just all wear Nerd Overload shirts.
That's true.
Well, you could do that. Sure. Yeah.
Ding!
Which you can get at bit.ly/nerdoverload. No, wait, that's for the end of the show. Okay.
Shameless plug is
No,
shameless.
it's for as many times as you want during the show. Also, Patreon.
Patreon, yeah. Anyway, check them out. Well, I have to check it out real quick if you guys are done talking
Go
about
for
that
it.
thing. I went down to Studio 35 and participated in this year's Dude-a-thon. Studio 35, they about once a month or so, they do a beer tasting where they play a movie and they bring in a local brewery or something and, have a few, have you try a couple of beers or whatever. And it's usually a pretty good time, but the one thing they do every year in January is Dude-a-thon, where they play The Big Lebowski. And
Yeah, it's kind of their thing.
it's kind of their thing, and it was pretty wild. Like, the crowd was sufficiently rowdy. I sat next to some very rowdy middle-aged women who were having just an excellent time. We all had a great time there. It had been a few years since I had seen The Big Lebowski.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. Yeah, like it hit just about every, I remember just about every major beat of the movie. Just super good. But yeah, it was a really good time. I enjoyed it. They played a bunch of clips. Like they always do the tasting first and then the movie. So, while you're, they pass out each drink or whatever, they have like clips of different dumb stuff playing. And one thing that they played like at every one of these beer tastings I've been to, there's a YouTube series called Guy on a Buffalo.
Oh.
Yeah. So what it is, it was a really old bad movie. Basically, this guy got paid by some company. He was given a trained buffalo that you can ride. So someone wrote a 15-page script for a 90-minute movie and just said, "Hey, go ride your buffalo around, and we'll film it, and maybe put a little bit of a plot here and there." And then this years later, this internet like musical group, the Possum Posse, came up with these really ridiculous lyrics and spliced them together with this, like, cut the thing up into 4 parts. And it's this rambling country song about a guy on a buffalo.
Gotta move it on my buffalo. Guy on a buffalo. One day the guy on the buffalo walked off to do some hunting. The buffalo said, "No, don't do it, man, by yourself." Guy said, "I got this, I don't need you, buffalo, it's just a deer." And normally the buffalo would have his back, but he was chomping on some grass in the field. And just about the time the guy got ready to shoot, he straight up got mauled by a cougar.
It's pretty
And
funny.
He's riding around, and here comes Bobcat.
I think you made us watch that
I
once.
think I may have made you watch the first one once. Yeah,
Made.
but it's
We were held hostage,
hey,
ladies
it's good
and gentlemen.
stuff. Guy on a Buffalo is great, and I found out that the Possum Posse is now on tour playing Guy on a Buffalo with the guy from the buffalo.
But does he have the buffalo?
He doesn't have the buffalo. No, I guess what happened was they were performing somewhere in Canada and found out that the guy who started the movie lived down the road. So they all just kind of showed up on his doorstep and went, "Hey, I don't know if you remember this movie, but we've kind of done this thing." And it turns out the guy knew about Guy on a Buffalo and loved it. So now they tour around and do live renditions of the thing while the movie's playing in the background. And Guy on a Buffalo talks about how stupid that movie was that he was in and how crappy that buffalo was that he got paid with.
He got paid in buffalo.
He got paid in buffalo. Yeah.
Bison beef is really good though.
Oh yeah.
It's super
pretty good.
tasty.
Mhm. I've only had it once, but it's really good. Beyond that, I watched a couple of movies. Saw the Meg.
Oh man.
Yeah. Killer shark movie.
With Jason Statham. It's pretty good. It's a pretty standard shark movie. I wish it was a little more ridiculous, although there is a scene where a shark almost eats an entire boat, and that's pretty great. And also Rainn Wilson explodes. That's pretty fun. The only complaint I have with it, because it's just a dumb movie. It's like a B movie that they gave a lot of good graphics to. I wish they would have found someone other than Jason Statham to be the big tough action man, because there was a lot of snark and a lot of semi-comedy lines that he was supposed to have, and Jason Statham does not have a comedy bone in his body. He cannot deliver snarky comments or jokes. Which is weird because he's English.
Yeah, here's the thing. It should have been someone like Bradley Cooper who can be, or like a Ryan Reynolds or someone that, maybe not Ryan Reynolds, but someone like that can deliver just snappy jerk lines.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, like a Chris Pratt. But Jason Statham, every time he tried to say something witty, it just fell completely flat.
Man, Chris Pratt used to be so much funnier.
Oh yeah, I liked him better when he was fat.
Yeah.
But let's see, watch that, and the last one I watched was, I don't remember the last one I watched. That was it. So yeah.
What you got, Josh?
Oh boy. Well, I picked up a DVD collection at the store of the first 100 episodes of SpongeBob.
Cool.
Wow.
Wow,
I
that's
didn't know that was the thing you could get.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the first 3 seasons?
Something like
Thereabout?
that. Man, it's super nostalgic going back and watching old episodes of SpongeBob.
The old ones are weird.
It's like, man, I remember that joke. Mm-hmm. Hey, that's where that meme comes from.
The animation's totally different, and the joke timing is totally different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing the introductions of some of these characters.
Well,
it's a brilliant classic show, and it always will be. And it's like the Simpsons for the next generation of kids.
It really is. And I didn't appreciate SpongeBob when it first aired. I thought it was this is just dumb.
Oh, I always loved SpongeBob.
But going back to it now, I enjoy it, especially those early ones.
Oh yeah, it's super fun.
Like the episode where he forgets how to make the burgers because the food critic hides the pickles. Bubble Bass.
Bubble Bass. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Not to be confused with Bubble Bath.
The Krusty Krab pizza.
Yep.
Is the pizza for you and me?
I have a memory of watching that in my
it's not just
dorm room.
It's not just a boulder. It's a rock.
It's a rock.
A beautiful rock.
Pilgrims used to ride these babies for miles.
I love how he can't drive a boat, but he can drive a rock.
He can drive a rock. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's super good.
Mm-hmm. And new ones are okay too, but those first, I would say before the first theatrical movie.
That's
kind of where
Steven Hillenburg stopped show running after the movie.
Yeah.
Also, how some things are a little different. Plankton was literally super tiny.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Plankton has always been and probably always will be my favorite character on SpongeBob. He's just so weird and good.
Oh man, but yeah, been watching that.
His computer wife Karen.
Yeah. What else I watched?
Well, that show basically revitalized Tom Kenny's acting career, because
Tom Kenny's kind of in everything now. Though.
He's in everything now, but before that, that was one of the first he had just gotten off of Mr. Show, and he was getting back into stand up.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that show, he probably would have just stayed in stand up, and that was going to be it. Also, did you know he used to tour with Bobcat Goldthwait?
No.
They were a comedy duo called Bobcat and Tomcat. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
Anyway, I keep interrupting.
No, it's
Sorry.
fine. No,
Go
it's
ahead.
fine. It's just kind of fun because like I'll watch I watch a lot of animated things, and you just watch the credits, and he just kind of pops up in everything.
Mhm.
Like he's almost like the other Steve Bloom.
Oh, we've been mainlining a lot of OKKO lately.
Oh man, I love that show.
It is a good show. I like it a lot.
I'm so far behind on that.
I love how the characters are almost never on model. They always look a little bit different.
Did you see the episode where they go back and like they show bits of the pilot?
No.
Yeah, and then like they're being interviewed by the reporter superhero lady. I can't remember her name right now, but like she keeps asking like why they look so different. Like what happened to your noses? Stuff like that.
We just watched the Captain Planet one.
I was just going to say, is that the one where Captain Planet is basically a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure character?
Yes, he
Okay.
100% is.
Yeah.
And it's got Kwame. He's got Earth power, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one with Earth power.
He mentions the other Planeteers quit and got real jobs. Well, but the end of that episode, they do a Planeteer alert like Captain Planet did, and it's all drawn in the original Captain Planet
Oh,
style.
really? Oh, that's so
So-
cool.
And the OKKO characters look really weird
Yeah.
in that.
It's very upsetting.
Yeah, KO looks like an absolute nightmare.
Like that pseudo realistic early 90s animation
Yeah, we
style.
didn't really explain what this show is.
Yeah, go for it.
It's it's an animated show about a kid that lives in this world full of superheroes. Like everybody is a superhero in this world, and he works in a little bodega with two friends
And their boss.
and their boss, and they get into hijinks.
And their boss is like a former like super big time superhero.
Yeah, he's basically Mike Hagar from Final Fight.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
And across the street, there's an evil Dr. Robotnik type guy named Lord Boxmore that sends robots over there to fight him
Boxman.
all the time.
Boxmore's
Yeah.
the company.
Oh, yeah. But he sends robots over to the plaza, and they have to fight the robots because Lord Boxman hates the plaza.
Oh.
Even though Lord Boxman's evil like League of Doom superiors tell him to stop worrying about it and just build robot weapons. Like, you make much more money doing this. Why are you worrying about them? And he's just like, I hate their friendship.
Yeah, he hates friendship so much. And he's voiced by Jim Cummings, who's a
Oh, nice.
very, very famous Disney guy. And I'm like, what Disney character's voice is this?
All of them.
And I looked it up.
It's-
Yeah, it
it's
turns out
everyone.
it was all of them.
It's dark. Yeah, it's Darkwing Duck, and it's
Winnie
like
the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh, and Tigger.
too.
Oh
Tigger
man.
too. Yeah.
Oh man, I love watching whenever like for some reason when conventions or whatever get a bunch of voice actors together, they give them some script from some movie, typically like Star Wars or something, and have them read parts as different characters. There is a Winnie the Pooh as Darth Vader out there, and it's good.
That's Jess Harnell sets those up.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever convention he's at, he usually sets up a panel where he does that with all the voice actors.
But it's a delightful show, I think.
Oh yeah, I love it, and I love its simplistic art style.
Yeah.
And like, there's just so much going on. There's so many zany, like goofy, weird characters.
There's so many updog jokes in the background too. There's always something that says updog on it.
Oh yeah. Updog and that weird blocky S we all drew in school.
Oh yeah, the cool S is everywhere too. There was one where they discovered that KO has a YouTube channel.
Oh,
And it's hilarious. It's such an accurate portrayal of what a little kid would do on YouTube. Like,
he does like unboxings of like his card collection
Yeah.
and
he makes an anime music video.
Oh God.
It's like, this is my first AMV. Please be nice.
there's also there was also an episode where they do like a crossover with this webcomic. I can't remember what it is.
Oh, RPG World.
Yes.
It's the creator's old webcomic from back in the day.
Oh wow.
Actually, yeah, they do a crossover with that kind of. Like, the character shows up, and he actually finishes out, the storyline of RPG World.
Oh really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, OKKO is is a kind of a sleeper, like a sleeper classic for Cartoon Network.
Yeah,
think.
I think it should be as big as like a Steven Universe or
But it doesn't
or an
seem-
Adventure Time.
It doesn't seem to get as much play though.
Yeah, and
but also it's got a weird hiatus schedule too.
Yeah, that's Cartoon Network's
And
fault.
it doesn't
Yeah.
have a continuity like. Nice. That's a good response. Like, I guess-
it does. It has a lot of stuff with Mr. Gar and OK. His name's not OK KO. His name is KO. With Mr. Gar and KO's mom have a past, and they were part of a superhero team called Point.
Point's like the big like superhero organization.
Yeah, but they hint about it a lot.
But you eventually see it.
Yeah, I figured.
There's also like a school called Point Prep. It's kind of like a superhero Hogwarts kind of thing.
Oh, nice.
There's a continuing villain, at least partway through the first season, that shadowy figure.
Shadowy figure. Who do you
But
think Shadowy Figure is?
Oh, it's that Dr. Venomous or whatever.
I'm pretty sure it's Professor Venomous.
Yeah,
too.
Professor Venomous.
It's got the same. He has the same voice.
Yeah, and same face shape. But this is really deep.
We're
cut
digging
that
deep.
yeah.
We're digging real deep. All right.
It's a good show. You should watch it.
I do enjoy it very much.
I just remember the other movie that I watched.
Oh, good.
It was the House with the Clock in the Walls, that Jack Black movie. That was
the house with the clockwork walls.
the clock in
Clock in the Walls.
Clock in the Walls.
Oh,
yeah.
is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's really good. It's weird. It is Eli Roth's first non-R-rated movie.
I didn't know he did it.
He directed it. It's based off a book series. The first in a book series.
Is it a horror film?
See, that's the thing. It is a family supernatural, like at times it feels like a Harry Potter or a Percy Jackson, like one of those kind of movies. But then when something happens that is horror filled, it like shifts for a half second into like full on Eli Roth weird, like Hills Have Eyes territory.
It's like Coraline. It's children's horror.
Yeah, but it's unlike Coraline, it does not manage those two tones very well. In fact, it's incredibly jarring when it bounces back and forth. Like 1 minute there's like legitimate like eldritch horror looking stuff, and the next second a pumpkin is vomiting on Jack Black's shoe. And there's fart jokes. There are multiple fart and poop jokes in this movie. That
Jack Black's in it.
It does well, but Jack Black does a good job. It's Jack Black and Kate Blanchett and Kyle MacLachlan from Dune.
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah.
Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
I guess was what more people would know him from.
Yep.
I know him as the Dunesman,
Or the mayor in Portland.
the mayor
Yeah.
of Portlandia. Yeah,
Where the dream of the '90s is alive.
Yeah, but
I don't think I've ever seen a movie and been like, man, I wish Jack Black wasn't in this.
yeah, Jack Black does a good job. Everyone does a pretty good job except for the kid.
He's a delight, that man.
He is a delight. The kid in the movie, boy, they could have cast him better. Like, all the kid does is scream his lines, and not like good scream, like not actor scream. Is just like, I am acting now.
He's
This
like
is me being my acting voice.
He's like a bad YouTube personality.
Yeah, kinda.
You mean like every popular YouTube personality
yeah.
who's not Philip DeFranco?
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to say about it. It's pretty good. Don't spend more than $1 on it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be like me and forget to take it back to the red box, and I ended up spending $3 on it.
Oh man, that's what happened with me in The Predator.
You know
It
what?
sat on my coffee table for like a day or two.
You know what? We thought that I thought that I brought it back within a day, but I guess it's like 24 hours from the time you rented it, and
Yeah.
we were at like 27 hours.
Oh,
And yeah, we got hit with that second day charge, and oh man, what a
I
bummer.
haven't used the red box in a long time.
I like hitting it up on Tuesdays if I see like a movie like in the new releases. I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's any good, or how terrible is this film?
Yeah, right.
I almost got Fallout 76 out of it instead of buying it, and I kind of wish I would have.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Fallout 76, we have some news on that as well as some other things. But first, let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back in a minute. Hey, we're back. That was Saving the Day by Alessi, or the Alessi brothers. I'm not quite sure. We looked it up on Wikipedia, and it was listed under both. I don't know. It's from Ghostbusters. We could have played Ghostbusters the song, but we
We've done
decided
that
for the
100
we've
million
done this.
times.
Yeah, it's been done to death. So let's
But
play a
why?
different one.
But why, Meg, you ask? Did we play music from the film Ghostbusters?
I don't know. Felt like it
Okay.
Because
No.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
because busting
Yeah,
makes me feel
yeah,
good.
Other
Yeah, perfect.
than that, busting makes you feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're going to.
We should have played Neil
We should have
Ciceraga's Bustin'.
Ciceraga's bustin'. Yeah. We should have done that.
And here's where we cut to play that
Yeah,
entire song.
that's we're gonna play. Yes, perfect. Nailed it.
If there's something strange sleeping in your bed, let me tell you something. If there's something weird sleeping in your bed, oh, let me tell you something. Bustin' makes me feel good.
Yeah, there's going to be another Ghostbusters movie. It was announced with a very brief, uninspired teaser trailer.
Yeah, it didn't do anything for me whatsoever.
Yeah, but I don't think I think it's because they don't have any cast or anything. It's
Yeah.
just like, hey, we're doing this.
Here's the
remember,
Ecto one.
Hey, remember Ghostbusters? Yes, you did one 2 years ago.
Yeah, but that's the thing. This has nothing to do with the one that was done 2 years ago. This is the third in the trilogy based on the original Ghostbusters.
Wait, that weird show from like back
With-
when TVs
with
were
the-
black
with
and
the
white?
ape?
With the ape with the hat? Yes, that's the one. You know that's the one I'm talking about.
No, the real Ghostbusters.
You mean the cartoon?
Kind of.
Yeah,
It's
kinda.
close.
Yeah.
I can't get excited about it, and I don't know why. I don't know if I'm just that jaded or
I think I'm there with you. I love Ghostbusters in all its forms.
yeah, it's one of my
It's great.
favorite movies of
Mhm.
all time.
Yeah, and I really like the reboot.
Yeah, it was
It was-
good.
it was perfectly
It
fine.
was a good movie.
Yeah, but I think part of my reluctance to get excited for this is due to the extreme backlash that the last Ghostbusters movie had online, because I'm a fairly connected guy. I
Woke.
look at yeah,
You're a woke gentleman.
I as much as I don't like that term, sure, I guess. But I read Twitter, I read Facebook and stuff like that, and I just got so bummed out reading everyone's bad takes
Yeah.
on that Ghostbusters movie
It
that it's
was-
really kind of tainted the stream a little
it
bit
was
for
not,
me.
It's crossed the
know,
stream.
I've crossed the streams into this is just okay.
That's how I kind of feel about The Last Jedi. Like everyone,
Yeah,
everyone,
that too.
Like everyone bashes The Last Jedi so hard. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Someone tried to tell me the other day that Solo was better than The Last Jedi.
Yeah, no, that's not true.
No, it is not.
That person, did you laugh in their face?
It's kind of hard to do that online.
Well, you should have recorded yourself laughing and then sent it to them as an MP3. Yeah,
I'm afraid to watch The Last Jedi again because I'm afraid I won't like it as much.
it's fine. It's good. It's not the best Star Wars I've ever seen, but it's good. It's
certainly not the worst.
Yeah, it's certainly not the worst. It's not even near the worst. Anyway, we're talking about Ghostbusters. Yeah, I can't get super excited about this. I mean, Jason Reitman is directing it, and I think he's also partially writing it, which is interesting because his dad, Ivan Reitman, directed the first two
and
co-wrote it.
He's a good director
Jason
too.
Reitman's
I've
a
seen
good
a
director
lot
in
of
his own
it.
right.
I've seen his movies. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
Juno's good. Thank You for Smoking was good.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I like Juno. That's a good movie.
And
Yeah.
as long as they make slight allusions to the original Ghostbusters, but not like, oh, here's 3 out of 4 of them back again, reprising their roles. I don't want to see that because Bill Murray doesn't care about anything anymore.
Yeah, like he phoned in his cameo in the
No, it was bad.
Oh yeah, Bill Murray doesn't care. Harold Ramis is gone.
Dan Aykroyd.
Dan
is-
Aykroyd's nuts. You know what? I think Ernie Hudson is the only one that really cares because what else he got going on?
Yeah, he's like the Billy D. Williams of Ghostbusters.
You were just mean to all of the Ghostbusters in a row.
I got him. You know what? Tell me I'm wrong though.
Zap.
Yeah, tell me I'm wrong though.
Oh, you're
Seriously,
not. You're not. I think it's just funny. You just lined up and knocked down all of the Ghostbusters.
Those Ghostbusters, they're not all that.
Like, oh my God, you're Gregory Peck.
Yes, you know what? I am Gregory Peck in this instance, or perhaps from Ghostbusters 2, that guy that is the mayor's assistant that has them committed. Whose name I cannot, commit to memory, but he is that actor is in everything.
Yeah,
including Carl Rove in that short-lived comedy TV series That's My Bush, which we talked about before the show.
We've weirdly talked about more than once today.
Yes. But I'm interested to see what they do with it. It'd be cool if they I've heard that they're going to do a team of two men and two women, which is cool. It would be
Now that's equality.
But, if they do,
I mean,
it is. I mean, yeah. There's not much to go off of with this news story. There's really not. I'm kind of grasping at straws.
There's barely enough to talk about.
I'm cautiously optimistic, but also I am just not looking forward to listening to everybody's hot takes online about it.
That's the main point. Yeah, everybody's gonna have a opinion on this, and I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, just not even
those armchair film experts.
Yeah.
And like I said, Ghostbusters is one of my all-time favorite movies, but people definitely hold it in a little higher regard than maybe they should.
Oh, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm of the opinion that no media is perfect.
Yeah, you're right.
We'll just have to wait and see who they cast, what the plot synopsis is going to be. If they bring back the baby Oscar from Ghostbusters 2, he would be old enough to be an adult in it now. And if they bring him in and be like, hey, he's a Ghostbuster now, look at him go, that would be kind of neat. And if that's where the tie-ins begin and end, I would be happy with that.
Do you think they'd bring back
Janosch? No, I don't think they'd bring back Janosch.
No.
He is Vigo.
Vigo the Carpathian.
Let's do it Men in Black International style. Like exactly
that.
Like have Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth.
Although Chris Hemsworth was in the last Ghostbusters movie.
It's true.
Oh, he was.
And he was very good.
He was actually one of the he was a highlight. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know what? Let's talk about some more movie stuff. We can hold off on the Fallout 76 stuff for a minute because we talk about that a lot. But first, let's talk about the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer.
Oh, boy.
It was real good, and it had the Ramones in it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I am psyched for this movie. There are some folks that are saying, oh, no, don't watch the trailer because it has spoilers for Avengers Endgame.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. You know what the spoilers are? Spider-Man and Nick Fury survived. And most everyone else did.
Unless it takes place before it.
It doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't? Is it post?
There's some folks online have the theory that, this takes place before and it's going to end with Peter Parker getting on the bus going to, and that's where he jumps off of it.
I mean, it could.
It could, but no. There are way more reports saying, no, this takes place firmly after
Endgame.
And I mean, if you thought they were seriously going to kill off Spider-Man,
you're crazy. You're crazy if that's what they're going to. If you thought that's what they're going to do.
Yeah,
he's one of the best characters in the MCU.
Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. They quote unquote killed off Black Panther.
And that's not going to stick.
No,
not even a little bit.
No, that movie made so much money.
Anyway, let's talk about this trailer for a bit.
Oh yeah,
it looks really good. It looks like he's going international.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I initially thought Far From Home when they announced that title it meant outer space.
Yeah,
but no, it's Europe.
Yeah, and that's cool. It's going to be neat to see Spider-Man swinging around on like the Eiffel Tower and the Big Ben and Parliament, that sort of thing. That'd be cool. It's nice to see Nick Fury still being in stuff. Sam Jackson getting work.
I gasped when I saw him for some reason. I went, oh! I was sitting in the living room by myself watching it. I felt kind of dumb afterwards.
That was almost like when they revealed him at the end of the first Iron Man.
Oh
He's
yeah.
just sitting in Tony's apartment.
Mm-hmm. So the other
I
thing,
gasped. I gasped when I
I
saw
clapped.
him.
I clapped when I saw it. No, and the other thing that they kind of reveal is Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, who everybody, don't worry, he's wearing that stupid fishbowl helmet.
Yeah, that was the main concern.
Like,
Is
like
he
when
gonna wear his,
when he,
his
when, he,
dome?
when he first popped up and I saw his face, I'm like, no.
No, this isn't right.
I'm like, where's his head?
Then he starts zipping around on that cloud wearing that stupid fishbowl helmet, shooting lightning out of his hands or whatever. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I
Now-
kind of have a theory about what's going to happen in this, because if you notice, he has the stuff that he's shooting from his hands look like Doctor Strange. He's wearing an armor that is a cross between Thor and Iron Man. I have a feeling he is faking monster attacks in order to look like a hero for fun and profit.
Yeah, I can
Oh,
see
yeah.
it.
That's Mysterio's MO.
That's his whole deal, is that he's a special effects artist.
One thing I wondered, like, are the monsters he's fighting illusions, or is he working with, like, Sandman, Hydro Man,
And Molten Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question, because you definitely see Spider-Man try to punch a water monster in this, and like
Joke's on you,
it's
Pete. You can't punch water.
You can't punch water, right?
I
But,
mean,
like,
the
there
rain
was
came down
actual-
and down the spout.
Yeah, right. Flush the spider out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I remember on a previous show saying I wasn't a big Spider-Man guy. I think I've become a big
Oh
Spider-Man
yeah,
guy
All right,
recently.
awesome. Yeah.
After Spider-Verse and
Mm-hmm.
The game.
the
and
game, yeah, I think I love Spider-Man.
He's definitely one of my. He's always been one of my favorite Marvel characters.
Yeah, but no, this trailer just looks really good. I can't wait to see
Watching Japanese Spider-Man the other day.
more. Oh, yeah, that's right. Tell me, what did you think of Japanese Spider-Man?
It was amazing.
I
It
told
was
you.
so dumb and great.
I told you. How long have I been telling you?
Yeah.
Years.
It's been years. Japanese Spider-Man is the best.
Hunt it down on the nebulous internets if you want to see Japanese Spider. Just watch the opening.
Just watch the
sequence.
opening. That's all you're gonna need to get hooked.
Spider-Man.
In. Yeah.
yeah. Wow.
Fighting the devious Professor Monster. With his giant fighting robot Leopardon, the
Yeah.
leopard robot. Because that makes sense for Spider-Man.
And it just dawned on me partway through, and I'm like, oh my god, every Super Sentai Power Ranger character is a knockoff of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Yes
they
and no.
didn't have robots
before
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man introduced the robots.
And all their costumes
kind of look
kind of look like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was done by the same studio.
Yeah, it was all Toei. Yeah. I mean, I could.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I could. You guys know I could get into this for like hours, and I'm not going
yeah.
to bore our listeners with all of it. But trust, it's
Spider-Man's spider blood runs deep in the Super Sentai
it
because of
really
this.
does. Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Oh, so good.
So anyway, Spider-Man: Far From Home,
Yeah.
the newest live-action MCU Spider-Man film with good boy Tom Holland. And his-
Holland.
Tom Holleran.
Tom Holland. Hollerin' Tom Hollerin'.
Is it Holland or Holland?
It's Holland.
It's Tom Holland.
For some reason, I thought-
Brian O'Halloran is the guy from Clerks.
Yeah. Okay.
And he would be a terrible Spider-Man.
Spider-Man wasn't even supposed
wasn't
to be
even
in
supposed to be
today.
there. He's a super nice dude.
Maybe back in the 90s he'd make a decent Peter Parker.
Oh, he'd make a great Peter Parker, but a terrible Spider-Man.
He might be a Peter B. Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah.
God, Spider-Verse was so good.
It was so good.
Right.
Actually, you know what? That reminds me. We had a listener email from one of our listeners, Mike. Thank you for emailing. You can always email the show at staff@nerdoverload.com. Got that in as well before the end of the show.
Yeah.
Got it in.
Yeah.
Anyway, not going to read the whole email, but he had some really nice things to say about the show. But also,
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks. And he also asked us, he had just recently had seen Enter the Spider-Verse and noticed the number 42 pop up a couple times and wanted to know if we thought that it was just a reference to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or if there was a deeper meaning to the number 42 popping up a couple times.
Which it definitely is a reference to Hitchhiker's
It
Guide to the
absolutely
Galaxy.
is.
I remember reading that in an article somewhere. But
Yeah, it absolutely is. Because there are references all through that movie.
yeah. Heck, it's got a Clone High
It has a
reference,
Clone
which
High
we
reference,
talked
which
about
is
on
pretty
here
great.
before.
Yeah. The only thing that I could say to it being more than just a reference to Hitchhiker's Guide is that unlike all the other references that they make in the movie to other non-Spider-Man related things, they kind of focus in on the 42 pop up a couple times.
A little more depth than just a throwaway.
So I don't know if they're setting up like there's 42 multiverses, so they can set a certain like finite number of Spider-Men, so that if they do sequels, they can go, well, there's not millions, because that would be way too much time to edit and like animate. But it just kind of struck me kind of odd that they focused in on that reference more than like
and it was there
just
more than once.
Yeah, if it were there once,
it's
and
like
it was
it's like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, and if it were just once, and if they didn't focus on it, it would be like, oh yeah, that's just a Hitchhiker's thing. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, they haven't actually came out and like cleanly said exactly what they were meaning by that.
I hope Japanese Spider-Man is in the next one.
Oh man,
he should have been in in this one.
Japanese Spider-Man.
He's in the comic, so
Spiders-Man, the Spider-Man made out of spiders.
I think they should have replaced Penny Parker with Japanese Spider-Man, or did a better job with Penny Parker.
They should have given her more to do.
I think she was the weakest link of the bunch of the Spider people.
She didn't,
because her whole thing kind of was
look
like,
at me.
I'm
an anime.
And then she doesn't even really look all that anime either.
especially since there is also a Spider-Man anime universe.
Yeah.
Where he's like a little ninja kid.
When they did those whole Marvel anime things.
Yeah. Give me Spider-Man India.
Ooh, yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
From the comics.
I remember I was in high school,
he's
think.
He's in the Spider-Verse comic, too.
When they did the Marvel manga verse. And I wasn't into comics at the time, but I remember seeing an ad for it and being like, this is hideous.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to see the Amazing Spider-Monkey.
Amazing Spider-Monkey would be good. Give me more with Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099 from
that bite was the best.
Oh, it was
I
great.
think you're pretty much guaranteed.
Oh, it's Oscar Isaac doing the voice of him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I mean, you don't cast Poe Dameron for a throwaway gag.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to some other stuff because we're kind of running short on time. Let's get the Fallout 76 news out of the way, because a week doesn't go by that there isn't a problem with that.
And
that game,
for some reason, feel compelled to tell you about every single one.
It's like a train wreck. It's like a digital train wreck. It's horrible. It's hideous, but you can't look away.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It really is. It really is.
Players found a way to get into a hidden dev room in Fallout 76 that has a cache of really rare weapons. Some of them are not even out yet.
Yeah.
And also there's
money.
There's a human NPC in there, and they're not supposed to be any of those in the game.
The human NPC is there for damage testing.
Yeah.
That character's whole existence is to get killed over and over again. So for some of our listeners that don't play games, what is a dev room?
It's just a room for the developers to use to test stuff.
Within the game.
Within the confines of the game itself.
Yeah, a lot of times some developers will put high-powered like weaponry or things that shouldn't exist, so that they can have something so they can test bugs quicker and easier, so they don't have to.
In most games, they're extremely hard, if not impossible, to get to.
You're not supposed to be able
You're not
to
supposed
at
to be
all.
able to. Well, if you're smart, if you're a good developer, you're supposed to take them off your map.
Yeah.
Or once the game's live, you empty it of all of its contents.
Which also Bethesda's notorious for leaving their dev rooms, and the other, like the Elder Scrolls games have them. Mm-hmm. The other Fallouts have them.
Well, there's a whole, I mean, the Monster Factory with the Final Pam, the whole second episode is based around them getting into the dev room and getting a bunch of high-powered stuff and making the Final Pam truly, truly awesome. But the way that Bethesda's going about, like, trying to stop these rampant, like...
this is the bad part.
Oh, this is great. So they're... Any player that they find that has gone to that room, that has gone to that certain coordinates, they're banning their account and then emailing the people saying, hey, how did you get in there? How did you get this equipment? And if the answer is sufficient enough, they will then unban you.
Yeah, they're like, tell us how you did that, and then maybe we'll think about unbanning you.
Yeah. So
the player base is effectively working as their quality assurance tester.
Yeah. And here's the thing, they're just banning like specific accounts. They're not banning like IPs or anything like that. So like people are just building like dummy accounts, dummy like level 1 accounts, getting into the room, stealing a bunch of high-powered equipment, and then selling them on eBay to other players. And Bethesda's not tracking the people using the weapons; they're only tracking the people going into the room. So you could like be walking down, walking in your game, and all of a sudden get like blown up 10 times in a second because you have an untracked super weapon.
Which could have easily been fixed by them removing the dev room from the game before release.
And it's a physical place on the map. It's not like off the map or like underneath the map or anything like that. It's like you clip it next to a wall for like 5 minutes and you're in like one specific spot. It's crazy. Crazy. It's crazy how like
lazy
that they have been with this video game from beginning to end.
Like seriously, it's almost like they looked at Goat Simulator and was like, here, hold my beer.
But you see, the thing is, Goat Simulator is supposed to be broken. That's the joke.
Yeah, I know.
This game is supposed to be a AAA super title or whatever.
Do we have time to talk about these Super Nintendo games? Since we complain about Fallout 76 every episode.
Yeah, let's move on from that. Yeah,
I feel like Fallout 76 is like our new DC.
It's our current punching bag. Yeah, I'm yeah, sure, okay.
So recently, data miners found a bunch of info for Super Nintendo games within the Switch's online service.
Mm-hmm.
And
thank God for it.
Yeah,
because man, that the NES games on there right now is just a mixed bag.
Yeah, it doesn't do a whole lot for me.
Yeah, every time I look at the list, I'm like, eh.
I popped in there and played Ninja Gaiden a little bit the other day. That's still a real good game.
Mm-hmm.
I want those controllers though.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Those are pretty cool. So, what kind of Super Nintendo games are we looking at for this?
It was everything that's on the SNES Classic, plus a couple other ones, I think.
Yeah.
That I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, and that's cool. They desperately need the.
Yeah, right now, unless you want to play Splatoon, I wouldn't recommend the Nintendo Online service, to be honest.
Not
it doesn't really do anything for me.
They haven't connected anything major with Smash Brothers, which is something they said they were going to do.
I mean,
or Mario Kart.
If you want to play Smash Brothers Online, you have to have it.
You have to have it, but
why would you want to play Smash Brothers Online? It doesn't work.
Yeah, it kind of is not great half the time.
Yeah, and the only game service the online has is Splatoon. It's the only thing that really utilizes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's mostly if you want to either track...
Well, that and the NES game thing.
Well, yes.
That uses it.
Yeah. So, the begs the question, do you think they're going to come out with a Super Nintendo controller for the Switch?
I would assume so.
I've seen some off-brand ones like floating around.
Oh yeah, the 8-bit Dio. I really kind of looked into getting one of those.
Matt has one. It's nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which I want to say, does this guarantee that we're going to get Super Nintendo games on the Switch? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
You can never guess what Nintendo is going to do. If I've learned anything from following Nintendo pretty closely for the past decade, you can't guess what they're going to do. It doesn't matter how much evidence they have. They could 180 and do something completely different.
It could be something where they planned on doing it, and now that it's been leaked, they're like, well, no, we're going to take our ball and go home.
Yeah. And they also found emulators for 2 other consoles. They don't know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
They found the code names, but they're not clear what consoles that they're emulating.
My guess is 64 and GameCube.
Virtual Boy.
I'll take 64, but I don't think they'll ever put GameCube games on there because they can just remaster them and sell them for full price.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, then what else would it be? Game Boy?
Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance, yeah. Get some Game & Watch.
Game & Watch.
I want to play some Advance Wars.
Yes, they should just make a new one of those, but they don't know how to work waifus into it, so they won't make it. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
They've said before they wanted to make a new one, but they don't know how to work because that's what they think people play Fire Emblem for now.
Well, is it really?
Some people,
yeah.
Some people enjoy the tactical challenge
of collecting waifus.
Okay, so we have time for one last thing. So Who is Marie Kondo, and why does she want me to burn all my books?
Marie Kondo is a Japanese tidiness expert who wrote a book a couple years ago about how to declutter your house and your life with her very simple methods.
Mm-hmm.
And she had recently got a Netflix show, which is pretty good. We watched all 8 episodes of it, and it was enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, Twitter blew something she said out of proportion. That you should throw all your books away.
Yeah, that's ridiculous
It's
that people
not-
are blowing it out of
It's
proportion.
not what she said.
It's not.
Her main tenet is that you should check and see if when you hold something, does it bring you joy? Is it important? Is it an important part of your life? And if it's not, then donate it, get rid of it.
Right. But people online are reactionary and a bit extreme, and they saw that and went, "Oh no, she wants us to get rid of all of our books."
I've
No, my books.
I've also seen some memes from it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no one should have more than like 30 board games.
30 board games. Yeah.
Well, she said that 30 books works for her in her book.
Mhm.
Like she pared down all the books she has to 30, and then somehow on Twitter that went to you should only have 30 books, which is not what she said at all.
It's not at all.
Well, in Japan, they have a different view of books because it's so moist there.
Yeah.
They can't keep them.
It's just people being reactionary and
Uh-huh.
dumb, and like her whole concept is not that hard to
It's not.
understand, and it makes a lot of sense and is good.
Mhm.
But it's astounding how far off the mark these people are. And like I get it, books are great. I love books, but there also aren't like these magical tomes that.
Well, no, people just think that having a lot of books is a personality.
Yeah, and it is not. Nobody will know what a smart genius I am if I don't have books all over my house. That's what my personality is.
Yeah, her whole thing is, keep the stuff that you want to keep, and if it's just taking up space, get rid of it, and that's good.
Yeah,
that's a
that
good
makes
way to
sense.
live. I mean,
Sam, no one should have more than 30 amiibos.
it's lies and slander.
She would never. It's clear if you watch the show or read her book, she would never want you to get rid of anything that was important to you.
Yeah, if for any reason.
Yeah.
In fact, wasn't there? I haven't watched the show. I've listened to this off secondhand, but wasn't there an episode where like it was a woman who lost her husband and she was really struggling to like get rid of, move on and get rid of things.
Yeah, she let her
Yeah.
change the order in which the program works just because that would work better for her.
Mm-hmm.
She's not some kind of monster that
Yeah.
wants you to throw away all of your things.
Yeah, Marie Kondo is all right,
Yeah.
and I think that is a good place to end the show, which is good because we're at time. You've been listening to Nerd Overload.
Also,
Thank you.
this is no longer bringing me joy.
Yeah. All right. You've been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at Nerd Overload Now.
You can email us at staff@nerdoverload.com.
You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nerd Overload TV. You can find us on Gregor.zone, which is something I still own.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay, yeah, we're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, and just about anywhere else you can find a podcast. You can find this show. And we have t-shirts. bit.ly/nerdoverloadT. That's TEE. Buy a shirt. Cover yourself.
They're
Or-
good
or-
shirts.
They're
Or
good
go
shirts, Brent.
or go to our page and click the store icon.
Yep, you can do that as well. Well, anyway, thank you all for tuning in. And again, we'll talk to you next week.
Pizza out.